This part is kind of tough for me because I live with my grandmother currently, and it'll be one thing if, like, she was, like, having a hard time. I understand that she has a hard time also because she's from an older time and, you know, her faith. But she's, you know, blatantly told me that, you know, I'll call you your dad, like, my dad name. And I don't, you know, basically just put it out that she doesn't care.
Sure. So very overtly
so I can't have that grace for her like I see other people have for their parents because it's like, I clearly know that she does not care.
Sure.
So it's kind of hard.
Do you think
with that
she's trying to hurt your feelings, or she just doesn't understand it, or I mean,
I don't know, and I really don't care to know because she's just made it plain and clear like how she feels.
Okay.
Now my mom, on the other hand, at first it was a little hard to understand at first.
Sure.
But you know, now she's seeing me, you know, getting my name changed and
right. I mean, changing your birth certificate, that's a big deal.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And also starting tea. She's excited. She's like a mother watching her child go through puberty again.
That's great.
You know, and I think it's easy for her to adjust because for the first 16 years of my life, I didn't live with her.
Okay.
I was living with my dad in Thomasville, Georgia. So she didn't get to be around me like that. So she's kind of using this second chance to kind of like be excited, be supportive, and I love that.
That's so sweet that she's excited too.
Yeah.
Like it's not even just tolerance or like, oh, I'm not so sure, but like excited.
I tell Mom, I'm like, Mom, don't be weird.
Oh, well.
She's like a typical mom, and I'm just like a teenager, just like, Mom, don't be weird.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like, I would just love the puberty and the beard coming in and the voice cracking. I'm like, stop being a mom.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
But I secretly love it though.
So we were talking about, like, I talked a little bit about going to peer groups and that sort of thing, and your process was a little bit more singular. What was your process like? Did you meet like a lot of trans people? Did you see any in your life?
I just recently joined a group called the Sunrise District group.
Okay.
And I met them when we did a protest at the Capitol.
Oh, okay.
I forgot the bill that we were protesting against, but it was the one about you can't transition until you're like 26.
Okay. The age limit on the transitioning.
Yeah, we were protesting that, and that's where I met the group, and they're a really good community, and I feel safe with them. I feel like I can trust them and get to know them, so I'm really glad that I joined that group because, you know, I've constantly prayed, you know, going back to my faith a little bit here, that I just got to surround me around the right people.
Yeah.
I'm done being around toxic people. I need to be around a solid community and people that actually care about me. And I feel like this is a stepping stone.
Yeah. And there's some really dangerous people out there. Like, people are like, oh, you're not reaching out to people. And but if they're not safe and they want to harm you, I don't want to reach out to them, you know? Yeah. And definitely, like you were saying in Idaho, I would think that maybe here in Oklahoma, there's some of that going on too. I'm not so sure because I've only been here a couple days. But what's your experience of that here? Do you feel welcomed as African American, but then also as a trans person? I know
That's two-edged sword.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
To be really honest, I probably feel less safe here in Oklahoma than I have in any other state lived in. And I've lived in, like, I've been in, like, Georgia.
Yeah.
So Georgia's a black man. Like,
right.
There's places where I've been like, whatever.
Yeah.
And not that
Georgia's like kind of a holdout of the Klan in a way too. Like they make these maps. Southern Poverty Law Center makes a map. It's called the hate map. And Georgia is just like dot.
I was stationed at Fort Gordon, and the it's not the KKK. It's one of the other groups,
like Patriot Front or something.
Have their training facilities like not even. It's not.
They have a training. God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, however,
yeah.
Here it's a little different only because, people don't know that I'm a trans man.
Right.
It's if they found out, how would they react?
Right. Yeah.
Because a lot of people tend to act different. Like, if they know that you're a lesbian or you're a gay man from the front, then they tend to act however they're going to act, and it's different than when they find out something about you later.
Yeah. I've heard some people say, like, if their privacy is breached, suddenly somebody will start talking to them like within the next sentence, like differently. Like they can feel a difference.
I actually had somebody do that on Facebook. They found out about me, and then they went to like people I knew on Facebook and were like, "Oh, did you know that?" And actually, the first person they reached out to was an ex-girlfriend of mine who I tend to stay on pretty good terms with my exes.
Oh, great.
And so she defended me tooth and nail, like, I don't know what the heck you're talking about, but you need to back the off. Like,
right.
Leave Percy alone. Cause
that's pretty good.
Yeah. But once you have a relationship with somebody, it's completely different than somebody from the outside. Coming in and then being all weird about.
Yeah, and it's your information. I think of it as medical information. Like, why would somebody share my medical information with other people?
I don't even share my medical information with other people. So for the most part, I like you just happen to know because I needed you to know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, otherwise, like my neighbors don't know.
Yeah.
I don't go around going, "Hey, I'm trans man," right?
Yeah, I was also stealth before I did some activism, and then I was in some news articles, and I couldn't be stealth anymore. But I understand what you're saying. There's something really beautiful having that kind of privacy.
Well, I also have an 8-year-old daughter.
Yeah, right.
And she doesn't need to be in the middle of all the
especially what's happening right now.
Especially with what's happening right now. But on the other hand, it was around COVID. I came out as trans. Like, there's a post on my Facebook that basically says, "Hey, you may not have known, but now you know."
Okay.
So it's not like I'm completely in the dark.
And why did you post that at that time?
I don't know. I just felt like I needed to.
Okay.
I know.
Were there some pressures around COVID that was happening, or?
I have PTSD. Okay. COVID was a blessing in disguise. I have everything delivered to my door. I don't have to go anywhere. Nobody's bothering me. I don't have to deal with your BS. Cool.
Sure.
Like, no, there wasn't anything. I think I was just, I think I was just at a place where I just needed to make a statement.
Sure. Okay.
It was time, I think.
What was the response from people?
Nothing. I mean, nobody.
Okay.
Those who know me.
Right.
And those who don't, didn't. There might have been people who maybe deleted me as a friend on Facebook, but I don't need them as a friend on Facebook anyway, so what do I care?
That's interesting that you both came out on Facebook.
Well, I didn't come out on Facebook.
Yeah, okay.
I was already out. I was already transitioned. I just made a proclamation on Facebook.
Right, yeah.
But it was like years after I had been. I had already been.
Sure. Yeah. More publicly to your peers, though. Yeah. Your social groups.
Me on the other hand, my experience out here in Oklahoma, I feel a lot more safe than I did when I was in Idaho.
Yeah, Idaho is bad news.
Well, I haven't had anybody driving around going, "Let's go kill them."
Right.
Yeah, because when I tell people I'm trans, like they get that. Oh, okay. That awkward look, and then it's that awkward silence,
glazed over.
Yeah, and I could just see like the hatred in their eyes or the disgust in their eyes. It's just the way that their face changes.
Okay,
especially dealing. Currently, I'm a caregiver to my brother Eric. He's autistic.
Okay,
and in Idaho, he was part of this program called TESH, so I was his aide. So I pretty much got him around to do certain things. And so when I ride in the van with him and he introduces me, because when I told my family that I was trans and Thai, my brother Eric went to Tash and just told everybody, "I got a new brother. His name is Thai."
All right.
And so now when...
he sounds excited about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when certain people come by the house to check on Eric and stuff like that, and they see me and I reintroduce myself, it's just that look of... Yeah, I really don't want to deal with that. And I just feel it.
Because you're early on.
Yeah, I just feel the intensity. But out here, and I think the reason why I feel safe out here is because I have a lot of family out here.
Okay. Yeah.
Tons.
Well, that makes sense.
And I got a lot of cousins that have been very accepting and understanding or trying to understand.
Great.
Because a year ago when we first got here, we had to attend like a family birthday party or something like that. And immediately when I showed up, everybody was asking me like, so what do I call you now?
Okay.
Do I say he, him? What do I say? What do I do? And I just felt so relieved because I was so anxious to go. Like, I literally felt myself having a panic attack. Like, oh my God.
Do you think that your mom may have eased the way for that?
No, she didn't say anything to him.
Okay.
Everybody, they must have saw when I came out on Facebook, they must have saw it. But yeah,
that's
it was
so
just
sweet that they were so interested in asking you all these questions. That's lovely.
And that's why it's so disheartening to see my grandma just be it feels like she's like the only one.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. But yeah, in Oklahoma, so far I've had pretty chill experience. Right now I'm still getting on my feet, trying to get some things together financially and stuff.
Yeah.
But
takes a while.
Yeah, but once I hit the city and really get to know Oklahoma, I'll probably see some things, experience some ups and downs. But right now, it's just been pretty chill.
And I think there's a difference between my experience coming here already in transition 13 years ago and you coming here new experience, like you're just starting your transition and how you know what I mean. So like me coming here, so I get stopped by a cop and it's my driver's license. If they frisked me, we would have an issue. Whereas with you, you're still in that kind of everything still matches phase where like, so for me, like being unsafe is like if I get pulled over. As a black man. Like, so, like, there's a difference in, like, our experience is just how we feel because of where we're at, too.
You know
and
you're of different generations, too.
Well, that, too. But I think mostly because, like, if I had come here and then started transitioning, how would I have felt about Oklahoma and safety? Versus, I've already transitioned.
Yeah.
And if things go sideways, you know.
This is kind of a hard question, and you don't have to answer it, but do you think that life is harder now after transitioning as seen as a black man in America?
Dating, yes.
Okay, dating. Okay. Okay. Well, I like that answer.
Everything else? No, not. I mean, not really. Dating's a little bit of a challenge. One, and I think the hardest part is actually just going out there.
Okay.
So, as a lesbian, you go to a lesbian bar. As a straight person, you go to a straight bar.
Right.
Or get on an app. Or as a transgender man, I can't go pick up... I mean, I can try and pick up women from a lesbian bar. That's just... That's difficult.
Do you consider yourself straight?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am straight. I don't... Yeah. So yeah, it's hard to like, where do I go? There's no meetup trans men bar for me.
Yeah, usually the those spaces, like you're saying, are a little bit segregated. So if you go to a gay space, are you able to find straight people to date? Probably not. And then if you go to a straight space, are they going to be cool about the trans part?
Well, I don't want a straight person.
Okay.
I've found that bisexual women tend to be a little more open-minded about the fact that I am who I am.
Yes.
Actually, somebody coined this for me.
I love bisexual women.
Somebody coined this for me. I'm the best of both worlds.
Okay, great. Yeah.
I don't have all that cis male baggage.
Okay.
Or machismo.
Okay.
But I'm also not a girl.
Sure, yeah.
And so it's the the chivalrous,
that's crazy.
Gentleman.
Yeah.
That sometimes works for people.
Yeah.
I found that
it's so rare now. You can be that rare guy. Yes.
Yeah, until they figure out they want bad boys all day.
Oh.
But
and then they'll get dumped in a week.
That's not my problem. But what I found has worked for me is I meet somebody, they fall for me, and then we have a relationship. But that makes it hard to date. Because developing a relationship is one thing. So you know me, you get to know me, you catch feelings for me, and then, ta-da, I got a surprise. Versus, ta-da, I have a surprise, and you don't get to know me and find out how awesome I am.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you navigate that then?
Well, for the most part, I've been single.
Oh, okay.
Well,
you're so handsome. I mean,
thank you.
The women should be coming at you, you know?
Well, they do. But since I'm stealth, most of them don't know.
Okay.
And I'm very selective with who I tell.
Yes, right. Because it's a safety issue as well.
My neighbor has a crush on me.
Oh, no.
But she doesn't know, and I'm not going to tell her. I'm not.
Yeah, you don't want it near your home, I would think.
Well, I wouldn't date somebody across who lives. Yeah. I mean, first of all, this is where I live, and if something goes south, then we're like enemies and stuff, and I don't want that. But for the most part, I mean, I've been married, I've had relationships, but it's just like now I'm in that point where like I want to be in a relationship, but how do I get there? And, you know...
I've heard this so much from trans people, actually. It's very difficult, yeah.
And then I get super jealous when I see the couples that are like, they've been together for 10, 15 years.
Sure.
Well, do you got a friend? Because my single ass would like to, like...
Yeah.
Do you know somebody? Like, what you doing? Why? Like, where are your friends at? And hook me up.
Yeah.
Right. So...
Yeah. How about you? Are you doing any dating?
No.
Oh.
I took a break from that. I'm kind of just leaving that in God's hands right now because I need to focus on more building a foundation for myself right now.
That's a good place to be.
And you made a big move, and you're dealing with financial stuff.
I spent a lot of my younger years and my whole high school days constantly looking for love because I just had that innate fear of I don't want to be alone. I gotta have somebody, you know, and it just put me in bad situations. So now that I'm older, I'm just like, you know what? I need to focus on me, and then whoever God brings my way, she'll come. Yeah. And when you talked about how bisexual women flock to you, I dealt with the same thing.
Not flock. They're just easier to deal with. They're just easier to deal with because they don't have the same assumptions. Yeah. So if I meet a straight woman, she's expecting me to have a penis.
Right. Oh yeah.
Well, I don't have. I mean, I bought it. It's mine.
Sure.
But I don't. So they're expecting one thing, and then like a lesbian's expecting. Well, I'm not gonna like. There's stuff I'm gonna do that's. I'm not.
And sometimes lesbians have a hard time being seen as straight because they've worked really hard on that identity.
Yes, that's another thing. Just like losing the community. Yes, when I came out, like I had been in a community, and now, like I don't. Where do I go?
Yeah.
Where do I go?
Like, it's almost like you become you're just your own community, or because you were more isolated, you weren't around a lot of trans people. Maybe you're with other trans people. But then extending out from that is a little bit difficult.
But like there's no social, like the social aspect of it. Yeah. So like every Friday night, as a lesbian, I'd hit the bar.
Right.
I'd hit the club, whatever.
And it's almost like you have a role too.
And now I don't have, like now, like I've been out here in Oklahoma City. Yeah. But it feels very, so I either get hit on by gay men, which is flattering, thank you, but that's not where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I actually haven't even been to any of like the mostly lesbian venues because I'm a little concerned about how it's gonna.
You know, that might be something for local activists who are, maybe more gregarious or people who put on parties and that sort of thing could work on locally, is to have more social events. Right, for trans people, and to invite people who might be also interested in interacting with trans people. That might be a good point of activism because, we can do like the rah, go to the Capitol and, talk about the bills and all that. But also just having a social community and being able to date and just being comfortable. That's a really huge thing.
That's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Because like because I'm attracted to a lot of bisexual women before in the past.
Sure.
So I just could relate when he was talking about bisexual women. I was like, that was me too.
Yeah.
I don't even know that they're bisexual until like they tell me that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just attracted to women.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just happen to get along easier with them if they happen to be bisexual.
Yeah.
Because like I said, they just don't have the same mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, because and you know what, of the LGBTQ plus 2 whatever, the bisexuals are also the invisible.
Yeah.
Because they can walk into a lesbian bar and nobody bats an eye.
Yeah.
They can go to a straight bar and nobody bats an eye because they're invisible that way.
Well,
which kind of makes them...
you could say invisible, or they're just comfortable in all places like that.
When I say invisible, they're not... Like, I would stand out in a lesbian bar.
Definitely. Yeah.
A bisexual woman will not stand out in a lesbian bar.
That's true.
She won't stand out
She would be the hot lady walking in.
Right. And the same with a straight bar.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean, I can walk into a straight bar and I can have the time of my life, but can I take you home?
Yeah.
I'd have to ask you like 500 questions before I could even do that.
Right. I actually, I was hanging out with a fellow recently who we went to a dance, and he wanted to approach a woman, but they, about being trans and that sort of thing. So he used me as a person, and I allowed him to do this, to broach the subject. Oh, my friend here is a trans person, basically, what do you think about that kind of thing? Because I had no interest in this woman, but he did.
Used you as a wingman.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I was totally fine with that. And I wasn't even present, but I had met this woman. So she had gotten to know me just a little bit. And he found out through her, basically, her reaction about me, that she was not somebody that was safe to date. Which I thought was interesting. I thought that was a good way to do it, actually.
I actually met somebody who started, I don't know why, but started telling me that she'd been in a league of some sort, a sports league, and there were a lot of lesbians, and she wasn't into that.
Okay.
And so my brain went immediately to, not you.
Okay, yeah.
Like if that's not, if that doesn't work for you, then
just being around some lesbians. I mean,
if that's a problem, then you're not going to want to hear what I got to say.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. You got to take in those little people call them red flags or whatever.
Yellow flags, depending on.
Don't ignore them. Don't ignore them.
I know that you're interviewing us. Do you mind if I ask a question?
Absolutely. It's a conversation.
Since we're talking about dating and everything, there's also a downside, like knowing the difference between someone who's trying to actually build a relationship with you versus fetishizing you.
Right.
So have any of you guys been fetishized?
Oh, yeah.
Possibly, but I've dismissed it and I don't dwell on it. I mean, first of all, I'm not going to engage in it, so it really, if you think about me like that, you're not somebody I want to hang out with. Or I think most of my experiences, though, have been they like me and don't care. It's not a fetish necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more of a they don't care what equipment I have.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah. I've experienced it, and certainly when I was younger in particular, when we weren't as well known, right? We're now more well known that, there's trans men out there. There seemed to be particular people who only dated trans people, and they were really aggressive about it sometimes. And even if I would give off the vibe no, not really, or I would even say it, they would still come after me. And I don't know. I usually tried to shy away from those folks. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like they wanted to get to know me. It felt like they wanted something from me.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to get off or something like that. So, yeah. So I try to stay away from people giving me that vibe.
I have experienced 3 different types of fetishization because I'm going to reveal this. So I'm still...
Cooper, hey. Thank you.
I'm still a virgin.
Okay.
So, but through my school days, I had people just want to talk to me or get to know me because they wanted to be into me because I'm a virgin. Sure. They're like, when they find that out, they're like, oh my God, they're intrigued. But then once
Is that from your religious background, by the way?
No.
Okay.
That's a whole nother thing.
Okay.
But once I got older and I came out as a lesbian, then I started getting fetishized by older men because they were trying to turn me out or trying to see.
That part I've dealt with, and that makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah. It was just creepy.
You can't, and it's not going to be you, and it's not...
You just haven't met the right one.
You're right, and her name will be something not Dave.
Right. Yeah. And then the third one is, now that I've come out as trans, I be getting blown up by people who want me to be their sugar babies. Get hit up by women. It's women that's like, can you be my sugar baby? Because I do have it in my bio on all social media that I'm Thai, my pronouns, so they know.
Okay.
So, but I get hit up by them on that. I just block and report them, but it's just like...
Interesting.
Yeah. Can I...
What does sugar baby mean, by the way?
Yeah, I know what a sugar daddy is because I've been one.
So sugar baby...
I wish I could be. I'm just poor. So
a sugar baby is if an older person, let's say, for example, I had an older woman.
So a cougar.
Hit on me and she's asking me to be her sugar baby.
You are very cute.
So you would have a sugar mama.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And she wants me to be her sugar baby. Someone who she could spend money on. And
oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you say no to that?
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, I just... because I just know it's only coming from... Yeah. You've only hit me up because I'm trans.
And there's,
any other time.
There's expectations behind
that. You can
that.
now go ahead and send them my way. I don't know why you're shutting that shit down.
I'm sorry, I'm
over here telling you that I'm single and bored. And you're over here going, I'm getting blown up.
Well, what dating app is that? What dating app is that?
Facebook, apparently.
Now I get hit up on Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter.
Who hit you up on Twitter?
Oh yeah, rando women.
I just get trolled on Twitter.
Can I just take care of you? Can you just? I'm just looking for someone to just talk to, and I can just give money to. And and I have some.
You're gonna send them my way. You have my number.
That's right.
Now that you do, that's right. And you can just start sending me the link and be like,
there you go.
Yep. I had one chick.
We're already having a party right here.
Yeah, I had one chick when I was in Idaho. I had one chick on Snapchat. She said, I just straight out asked her, I was like, okay, so what are you looking for?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not looking to have sex with anyone for money.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, no, I'm not looking for that. I just want somebody to just talk to at the end of my day.
Okay.
And I'll pay you $1,200.
What?
And you said no to that.
Wow.
At that time, I just got a lot going on. Just trying to get together in my life. I don't have time to deal with a whole nother human being.
Yeah, and who knows? Who knows?
A month of testosterone. Who knows? A year of testosterone.
Who knows what their expectations are, though? If they're kind of fetishizing you, then there might be something they're not saying.
If they're randomly hitting you up on Snapchat, Twitter,
and
but they're not places where you normally reach out to people for stuff.
And who knows? They might be misrepresenting themselves. You have to be really careful.
It was Dave.
It could very well be. I mean, that's a whole thing.
Because I've heard stories from a lot of transgender people, and I watch lots of documentaries where people get human trafficked, especially people like us.
Right.
We get forced into prostitution, all those things, and I'm just like, nah.
Yeah,
I got other things to worry about.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Wow. Yeah, it's insane. I'm like, I'm getting all this attention from people with fetishes. Like, I want attention from a real female who wants to be my wife one day.
Yeah.
Date, get to know me.
Go to church together.
Yeah.
All that stuff
all that beautiful stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, actually, I have the same problem I think a lot of trans people do of just finding people to date. And that and beyond sex, too.
Right.
Like, not just sex, but like actual love and companionship and I think it's part of our culture too that's might be difficult right now. But
I'm so over the hookup culture. I'm just so over it.
Yeah, it's a hookup culture. I just find it an extra hard because of the trans thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Cause I have friends that like brag about having 2 or 3 females on the side and stuff. I'm like, just thinking about that gives me a headache because I'm like, I gotta tend to your happiness, your happiness, and then I'm caregiving for my brother here, so he's probably gonna be a part of my life for the rest of his life.
Right.
I don't got time for that.
Yeah,
I'm a one person,
and your grandma,
and
totally.
I can't do that side piece and having multiple.
Well,
yeah.
Wait till you get to the point where you're actually trying to find somebody, because that, I mean, all that other stuff that they're talking about is great, but actually going out there and meeting somebody, a whole other animal.
Yeah.
That's
so, just thinking about that idea I had about more social activities, what do you think would be something that would work for you guys? What kind of events and that sort of thing do you think the trans community can work on that'll, make you feel more part of the community or help with things that you want?
I don't necessarily know that it's there are groups here, and there are trans groups here in Oklahoma who do social things. Mm-hmm. That's not really where I think there's an issue.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm really talking about, like, on a Friday night. Like, there's no space, like...
Well, a space could be created, though.
Right. But we're trans men, and who has the money for that shit? You're talking about, like, starting a club. How about we repurpose one? But
or, a barbecue on Saturday.
But we do stuff
something.
like that.
Yeah.
Social events happen. What I'm talking about is, I'm not going to Faces every Friday night.
Sure.
It's I mean, not that it's not a great place.
Yeah. Is that a gay bar? What is that?
A lot of lesbians go there, but they have drag shows.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, so it's kind of a mixed bar.
Which is now technically illegal here. Anyway, that's a whole other animal. That's a whole other animal. But the point is, like, there's a lesbian bar, there's a gay bar, and there's a lesbian drag bar.
Sure.
And so like, there's no trans bar. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's not that, because we've done barbecues and the hangout thing, and there's Trans Men of Oklahoma. We do stuff. It's not that there isn't stuff in existence. It's that there's no set venue.
Yeah. Cooper. Yeah.
There's no set venue.
Yeah.
And that's not going to necessarily change, especially here in Oklahoma.
Is there like an LGBT center here?
Oh, I'm not entirely sure.
I don't know.
You don't even know. Okay. Well, I don't know either because I've only been here a few days.
I don't know. There probably is.
Yeah. But you guys aren't hooked up with it, so...
But I'm not a lesbian or a gay man.
Yeah.
And so...
But there's also bisexual people that go to those places and,
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm just...
I mean, I'm thinking the places... Because in California, in the places that I've lived, those places have tend to be more like go to get therapy, go to get... resources.
That's true.
Not necessarily a social club kind of thing.
I'm just trying to think, is there a way that we can be more expansive with places like this, though?
I would say I'm not sure what the future holds for Oklahoma City, but I know currently right now the group that I've heard, the Sunrise District, we're thinking about doing like a block party.
Oh, great.
Type thing.
I love block parties.
And we haven't really sat down and fully planned everything out yet, but we are thinking about trying to throw one. And we know there's a district. It's called the Northwest 39th District.
It's a gay, lesbian, transgender.
Yeah,
it's the
gayborhood.
It used to be a lot more gayborhood. Okay. It's more.
Let's stop for a second. Okay. The cat is rubbing on it and it's shaking it.
But at least they're getting along.
Yeah, he's warmed up to it.
Okay.
All right. Come here. Get away from that.
Come here, Daddy. Okay, so let's start with the gayborhood thing.
I was just saying that it used to be more. Mm-hmm. It has toned. It's started to die down.
Okay, is that because of, you think, state oppression, or the social milieu that's against trans people?
COVID
COVID.
Okay, a lot of things changed after COVID.
Yeah, I heard a lot of gay bars actually closed. I think they just completely closed.
Yeah, not just in Oklahoma.
Yeah, everywhere. So, yeah.
Because we thought it would be good to host a block party there because it's, like I said, neighborhood, and it'll be a lot safer. We don't have to, worry about certain things, and maybe we can get the venues around to chip in.
Yeah.
And, just make it a thing that where all people part of the LGBT community can be a part of. So that's something that we're working on.
Yeah. Really connect with those bisexual groups too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what I'm trying. Let's get the trans and the bisexual people together.
Maybe
that's
we'll
just what I found. That's just what I found to be easier. That does not mean that's the only.
I think that would be a fun party. Lesbians and gays, whatever. You go do your thing.
Okay, we'll be over here.
The bisexuals and trans people will have the good party.
Because bisexual people get judged too and stigmatized, they're cheaters, and
of course
they can't decide. They're confused.
They don't know if they want.
Right? Yeah. Or that they're very promiscuous or something, and that's not true.
That's not true.
Now, I said that the bisexuals are easier, but I've been with women who have classified as straight.
Yeah.
So it's not that,
Sure.
We can let some of those in too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The open-minded.
Yeah, the open-minded ones, the allies, the people who love us. Yeah, totally.
Who have bisexual friends.
Yeah, that's right.
Bring your bisexual friend. Your bi plus one.
See, I think I'm rubbing off on you a little bit here.
I'm just thinking.
No.
Now we just need to make it like a weekend thing, so I can go there on a regular.
Yeah.
Or a retreat type of thing.
No, not a retreat. I don't want to go every once in a while. I want to be able to go every Friday freaking night or Saturday night,
socialize
like my gay friends and my lesbian friends, and go to whatever and have a beer without me worrying about who's looking at me or not looking at me or looking at me funny. Or...
Maybe y'all can do a bar night takeover. You know. So just advertise it on Facebook for through your networks and stuff, and just say, okay, tonight we're all going to whatever bar, and we're just going to be there, and we're going to party in that space.
That's cool. Because Oklahoma City, I noticed through because I follow different events on Facebook.
Sure.
Oklahoma City does a lot of bar crawls.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They do a lot of those for different things, and maybe the LGBT community can come together and we do our own bar crawl.
Yeah,
like, for real.
Yeah.
Just turn up.
Maybe not.
Good luck with that. Yeah. No, Oklahoma City is very. The LGTB is very segregated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can bring your Idaho wishing and hope it rubs off. But the likelihood that the L, the G, the T, and the B are gonna all bar crawl in Bricktown, you're out of your flipping mind. That's
I see the segregation. I do see the segregation. Yeah, I do see it. I notice it.
Like, you can talk wishful thinking on this podcast and stuff, but
yeah. Well,
I'm the idea presenter. Like, people who can execute. But I just present the ideas.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm good at making ideas.
And that's how the broader community used to be too. Like, the lesbians were by themselves and they hated all the men, so they weren't going to hang out with gay men, definitely not. And the gay men didn't like, women, so they didn't hang out with the lesbians or the bisexual women and stuff. And then the trans people, no one ever even thought of the trans people, right? And things I felt like got a little bit better, but I think we are segregating off again into,
especially here
communities.
In Oklahoma,
with
what's going on.
Yes.
And there are a couple of posts, you may have seen a few of them, where I was like, okay, this is not just affecting trans people anymore.
That's right.
Like, they're coming for you, and they're doing it in, like, hiding it in the guise of the bill, and they're making it a little addendum to, like...
Trying to make it vague a little bit, too.
Well, to like, gay marriage.
Yeah.
There's actually a line in one of the bills that's, like, squelched in the middle.
Yeah.
And so there are things that I think it's going to be a little...
Do you find any tension between the trans community and kind of the LG community here? Like, are some of the LG people like kind of conservative and like, oh, we don't want to be around those trans people anymore?
You can't ask me because I don't really hang out.
You don't really know? Okay.
I don't know. I don't hang out.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't...
Yeah.
I don't go hang out.
Yes.
Because there's no place for me to hang out.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So I don't go where I'm not wanted.
But
I don't go hang out because I don't have finances right now or a car. So
and I don't hang out because I'm sober. So that's another issue.
I'm not sober.
Yeah.
I just my not drinking kind of was more military related.
Okay.
And then now that I've dealt with some of my demons, I can drink, but I don't.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, for me it's just a problem, so I just have to not. Yeah.
I have to be in the mood, like maybe like holiday or something, but I really don't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna drink today. Like I just, it's not on my brain like it used to when I was younger. Like
I used to be like that binge drinker.
I can do without it.
Yeah.
But as far as like the community and how they, the only thing that I know is from my personal experiences, and they're very limited.
Yeah, I get that.
So it's not, I mean, it's not that.
Do you feel politically supported by the greater community here in Oklahoma? Like the LGBT community, you know, like activists and that
I would say yes.
Yeah?
Only from what I've seen on Facebook.
Okay.
When, like, at the Capitol. The Capitol support. For the anti-trans bills that were coming through.
How have you been to some of those protests, by the way? You did.
I was in one of them.
How were a lot of people there? Were they boisterous?
It was a pretty good turnout. I was really surprised to see a lot of parents with their kids.
Cooper, hey, hold on a second. Cooper, come on. I'm basically kind of wondering if you have advice for other African American trans people, or maybe African American trans people here, specifically in Oklahoma, etc. What do you think?
You both are staring at me. I'm still contemplating my thoughts.
You just had such a dramatic sigh there. It was
because,
like, whoa.
A lot of things went through my head all at once, and it was kind of
Well, if you want a minute, maybe do you have something?
Yes. Something that I've kind of always wanted to share. Any African American trans person out here who is struggling with their faith or their relationship with God, don't let church folk, other Christians, distort that from you. Because in these times, you're going to need God more than ever. That's and right. If you are struggling with your faith, or if you're agnostic, you're curious, you're seeking, continue to seek.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the scriptures that a lot of toxic Christians and believers throw at us is misinformation and mistranslation. Mm-hmm. So don't give up your faith in God. Don't give up your walk with Christ. Keep that dear. Because at the end of the day, that's all you're going to have at the end of it.
Yeah. That's lovely.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think for me, I'll close out since you hit the spiritual aspect.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I always wanted to share that with the trans community. I just didn't know how to go about saying it.
Just say it. Just say it.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah. Write that down real quick.
I think there's two things, and this is just unfortunately based on my own experience, but forgiving those who have not fully embraced or supported your journey. Carrying that I went years without actually seeing my mother, dealing with her stuff, and I can't get that time back.
Right.
But mostly it hurt me.
Okay.
My mom had to grieve the loss of her daughter.
Yeah.
I just lost my dad last year, so grieving somebody's loss, it's done in your own time. It's not done when that person, just because I wanted my mom to accept me completely as I was, she needed to do her own work and go through her own grieving process before she was ready to accept me. There are people who never get that, and I understand.
Yeah.
That's a whole different journey, but me hanging on to the hurt and the being pissed off and the why can't you say the right pronoun, and like me hanging on to that was toxic for me, and there was a lot that once I gave that up, that freed me from dealing with that.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. I have a quick question, and I want to hear both your takes on it, because that's something I'm struggling with the whole being dead named and things like that, and it's a real struggle with me, where I'm living and who I'm living with. And how did you deal with people who dead named you on purpose or just didn't care? Like, how did you deal with that? did you just accept that they just sit and let them call you that, or?
It depends on who they were. I have elderly, like my mom is in her 70s. So I came out 15, however many, okay, so I came, my mom had been calling me what she'd been calling me my whole life. Like she's like grown and old. Like it's not like she could, it's not like she just I just introduced myself to her yesterday as Percy. She didn't, she knew me for so long as what she knew me, for me to expect her just to immediately switch over. That'd be like you changing your name to Green and me starting to, I might forget. Like I've been calling you Bob for 20 years. Like
I always like to say that it's a transition for other people as well in your life. You know,
But there are people who are doing it on purpose, and it also depends on, I think, their relationship to you. Like I don't have to be friends with that guy who's calling me, who happened to figure out what my dead name was, and is calling me that. I don't have to be your friend. I can't not be your grandchild, your brother, your, like, so it depends on what that circumstance is. There's going to be some people where you're just going to have to constantly be like, that's not my name. Or there's going to be people where you're going to have to just ignore them. Like if they're calling you and that you know they're doing it on purpose, don't answer them. That's not your name. They don't answer to Samantha when you call them Samantha. Why are you answering to something other than Ty? Right? So some of it's gonna have to be played by ear. Who it is. Like if they're paying your bills, then
that's a hard one.
You know what I mean?
Gotta
right? If you're living in their house, then but I think also too, like, I know that some of it's your family. You can't change your grandmother. You can't, but also remember, she's grieving the loss. And she might be doing it in a assholey way.
I also got to say, though, just as my little thing, and other people have said this to me as well, is that you don't have to put up with abuse, right? So if somebody is actually literally harming you and it feels really bad and it's going deeply, then I wouldn't put up with that. But I'm not in your shoes. So I don't know your life at all.
Because my therapist told me, the same thing, that I can't control my grandmother. I can't change her. So if she does dead names you, just be like, my name's Ty. And just be in a calm manner. Don't have to be an ass about it. Just be like, my name's Ty.
Or ignore it, like I said. You don't have, because sometimes saying something back to somebody who's antagonizing you on purpose, because she's doing it on purpose.
Right.
If I'm fighting with somebody who's doing something intentionally to get a rise out of me, ignoring them makes it worse for them. And then I can just be doing what I'm doing.
Because they want the attention. They want that contentiousness.
And so, like I said, it depends on who it is. There's certain people that you can just. There's certain people. My God bless her, my aunt's 80. She calls me what she calls me. You know what I mean? But she's. You know what I mean? Like my mom has started to. She's been using for the past couple of years now. She's been using the right pronouns. She'll slip. I'm not gonna like beat her over the head with that, but. Then there are people who I've literally cut out of my life because they're not. And that's just trying, and that's just, I mean. It depends on where they are.
Do you have any like people that you can talk to in your life about these issues, like personally?
The group that I'm a part of.
Okay, great.
And your therapist.
And my therapist.
Okay, great.
And I'm part of some Facebook groups too. So,
okay, great.
They've really been helpful.
Keep running these stories by them and get more advice, Totally. All right. Well, I think that's a pretty good end. I love it. You both are such charming people, and you've really shared a lot of yourselves today, and I really appreciate that. I particularly appreciate that you've allowed us to do this interview in your home, because you're a bit more of a private person. So I just want to really acknowledge that.
It's because I'm a Taurus and I'm an ambivert. So those two things are like, Stay out of my space.
Yeah.
Honestly, when he smiles, he reminds me of my cousin Xavier. He lives in Colorado Springs. When you smile, you look exactly like him.
Oh, wow. Cool.
So it's really refreshing.
Okay.
And familiar.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Cool.
Because I don't look like anybody else.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It just reminded me.
And, I wish for all of us dating success.
Oh.
Me too.
Cross the legs, cross the eyes.
Yeah,
and if any of you out there,
happen to know anyone single.
That's right.
Oklahoma City Metro, I'm willing to travel.
Yes.
Up to 150 miles.
I'll be in Alaska, but I do make trips down to the Pacific Northwest. Got to use those Alaska Air Miles.
There you go. Rack up some free points.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's quite a grip, too.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Woo!
Have you been working out lately?
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, anyway, so, and thank you so much for putting up with my dog.
Not a problem.
Yeah, they're both on the floor.
Yeah, I'll catch you up for that later with my dogs.
Now, like the last 2 minutes, they're
all worn out from running around chasing each other.
I know. It's so weird. All right. Cut. Yeah.